You were in the room as this was playing out, Manu, and you asked him in part, did his bad answer on the Benghazi committee play into this? Let's look forward, not backwards. But they're in chaos, and they have to decide who leads them, which is really part of a bigger question about how do we want to do our business. Is this really just about the conservatives want the rules changed so that they're listened to more, or do they want a new speaker so they can be more confrontational and combative?
Well, they want more say. The members, about the 40 or so members in that House Freedom Caucus that really were instrumental in pushing Kevin McCarthy out and also getting John Boehner just kind of get fed up with his job. They say they want more power. They want to be able to have the speaker listen to them and have a bottom-up approach. But the interesting thing, John, is that that's what Kevin McCarthy actually promised that he would do. He went to these guys and said he would do it. And still that wasn't enough. And I think that was one of the things that really frustrated Mr. McCarthy and prompted his decision to abruptly pull out, because he went to those guys, told them he'd do all this stuff, and then they still were not ready to back him. So if Paul Ryan were to jump into this position, he would have the same problems that McCarthy had, that John Boehner had, and we're dealing with raising the debt limit on November 5th. They have to do that. They have to fund the government starting on December 11th. They have these major fiscal fights that have divided the party for years and years and years, and no matter who it is in charge, they're going to have the same issues.
This is where I get stuck on this one, because a lot of these guys, to their credit, they're being criticized even by their own establishment. To their credit, they're doing what they said they would do in their campaigns. They campaigned on coming to Washington and saying no. They campaigned on coming to Washington saying, I will not raise the debt ceiling. I will fight Obamacare at every breath. So they're doing what they said they would do. The question is, do they understand that even if you gave them every position in the House leadership, they still couldn't repeal Obamacare because of the Senate and the president. They still couldn't defund Planned Parenthood because of the Senate and the president. Do they get that?
Well, this is why I think this is such a huge problem for Republicans right now. It's not just who is going to lead, it's whether there is anybody who can come in and actually keep these two warring factions of the Republican Party under one big tent. Because it's not really ideological. You know, we've had situations where you've had Republicans and Democrats with really deep ideological differences. This is almost more about tactics. And how do you get people who were elected to come to Washington, not compromise, who equate compromise with surrender, to move away from that when that's the whole basis of their political rise?
And when they have districts back home, where the only way they're going to get challenged is from the right. And for Democrats, it's from the left because of the way we draw House districts, which is the biggest problem in this country, but we're not going to settle that on a Sunday morning. This is part of the presidential campaign as well. This is part of a civil war, civil strife, whatever you want to call it, within the Republican Party. I want you to listen. When this happened, you know who, Donald Trump was out in the campaign, and he'll take credit for the sunrise, and he takes credit for Kevin McCarthy being gone, too.
I want to just start by saying, you know, Kevin McCarthy is out. You know that, right? And they're giving me a lot of credit for that because I said you really need somebody very, very tough and very smart.
You know, we're rolling our eyes a bit because what did Donald Trump have to do? But in a way, he's got a point because the insurgents and the outsiders are doing so well out there on the campaign trail. And they're saying whatever they want to say, as Donald Trump does, and sometimes Dr. Carson does, and they're going up. And so if you're one of these restless conservatives here in Washington, why not?
The Republican Party is basically eating its own at this point, and it's really bad for the party. It's hard to see how any candidate, I mean, look, whoever takes the speaker position knows that they will spend the next 5 months and possibly longer being attacked by Ted Cruz, by Donald Trump. It's a thankless task, and it's hard to see how any 2016 candidate on the Republican side navigates these political crosscurrents in such a way that they remain a viable general election candidate. I mean, it's a real question about whether this is a functioning political party that can get someone into the White House, and it's just going to be really tough.
And I think this kind of chaos in Congress creates this image that the party as a whole is in a state of chaos and doesn't really have a clear agenda. I think we sometimes forget that Congress right now is dominated by the Republican Party because there are so many internal fights just within the party. It's not even that they're always fighting with Democrats, it's that there are two factions within the party at war,
and this chaos is good for those outsider candidates, for the Ted Cruz's and type to run against Washington.
Can Jeb Bush step forward at this moment and say we need grown-ups to govern when the base of the party is saying, yes, we have energy right now and we're getting what we want and we're getting rid of those guys?
No, he would look out of step. He would look out of step with where the party's voters seem to be right now.
But it's great for Hillary Clinton. I mean, it's great. Her whole argument has been, I'm going to rise above the fray and be a leader. And Republicans came into this Congress when they took control of the Senate. They promised probably in an interview to you, that they would govern and they would move past the
Be responsible.
dysfunction and they would be responsible. And all this dysfunction was the fault of President Barack Obama. It's a harder case for them to make now, and it's an easier case for
They're
them
working
to
on
make.
it. They're working on it.